Right now, talking bikes.
This police rider will have completed a rigorous training course to achieve this standard of riding. He is chosen for his natural ability and overall experience and then subjected to the training program, some of which you're about to see. Training is very important. Any fool can ride fast enough to be dangerous. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the Hampshire Police Driving School. You have all expressed a wish to become police motorcyclists. At the end of this course, you must be capable of riding safely to the police system of riding at all speeds and capable of coping competently with all weather and traffic conditions. You must be complete masters of your machines. I am here to look after your interests on the road, but it is up to you to learn the highway code and the motorcycle roadcraft. The first thing we will be doing is trials riding, and this should sort out any problems you may have with motorcycle control. One of the most important parts of the training program is the trials riding, because this quickly indicates to the instructor any defects in basic control or loss of bottle under pressure the student may have, without the disastrous results that could occur on the road. You should be a complete master of your machine, able to cope with any emergency and, by transference of weight and balance, keep the bike under your control. When you drop down a steep slope, keeping the weight backwards and allowing the machine to fall naturally without influencing it by braking. Turning it very carefully on cambered surfaces, and generally building up an instinctive feel for how a machine reacts in adverse conditions. A slight loss of control at the top because I was a bit slow to shut the throttle off. No doubt we'd use that as an example of how not to do it to a student. The student demonstrating good control, balance, taking into account gradients and using his speed to help him support himself on a surface. This is handy on the road because it enables you to judge how a camber will affect the performance of the machine.
Now, the whole secret of this is to get the machine as straight as possible on the approach, get the right speed, and make sure you get your weight back as you go over. Flip the throttle at the right moment to bring the wheel up, and over you go nicely. And if you get it just right, you should have no problems. Oh, all right. Did that on purpose? You didn't quite get it straight, did you? Never mind. Just hang on to it. A little slower on the approach, a little straighter, and a little more throttle just as you reach the log would have taken you over. You tended to hit it too hard, too fast, too soon.
From the trials riding, we go back to the classroom for more theory.
Jolly good. Why would you take that line?
Because it's a smoother curve and it's faster out of the junction.
With a powerful machine, it's a fast way of ending up on the pavement.
The first student has turned out far too wide. He's liable to end up on the pavement, whereas we demonstrate a nice tight turn and acceleration applied once we're straight. When turning into a junction, of course, he's got it wrong again. He's far too deep into the curb. We are, in fact, pivoting around the centre, but the last student's cut the corner off, and we'll have a word with him about that later. Most motorcyclists that have problems when going around corners invariably go in too fast and approach the bend from the wrong position. We're fortunate on a motorcycle in that we have more room to manoeuvre than a car. And I'll show you, first of all, the line which is invariably taken by the inexperienced motorcyclist, who invariably ends up, due to his excess speed and his wrong approach position, in that position there, which is extremely hazardous. It's only a fraction of a second between him and any oncoming car. So he's put himself in a very dangerous position. Our line differs considerably from this, and in fact, we put ourselves, A, in the right position as early as possible to see as far into the corner as possible. We then reduce our speed, select the correct gear, and we adopt a line which comes in nicely through the bend, making full advantage of the camber of the road, which is in our favour on the left-hand bend. We are then straighter earlier than this person here, and the A indicates the point at which we can apply acceleration. The motorcyclist who's adopted this line cannot accelerate with confidence until he's at the point here. So our maxim is slow in, fast out, not fast in, feet out. The same principles of cornering apply exactly to a right-hand bend. The inexperienced rider will invariably position towards the centre of the road because he feels more security and try and negotiate the bend like this and invariably end up getting very close to the curb or verge and ends up frightening himself. We find that by approaching the bend close to the near side, having regard to road surface conditions, we can then obtain a better view through the corner, get our speed correct, obtain the right gear, and then negotiate the corner, keeping well away from the adverse camber that always occurs on the near side of the road, leaving us in a position to accelerate from this point onwards, whereas the other rider is in fact stuck, unable to accelerate because he's fairly well out of control. Overtaking is one of the most hazardous things we have to cope with on a motorcycle, but it should present no problems if it's done correctly. The first thing to establish is a clear view and to put ourselves in a position to see any oncoming vehicles. Having seen and accepted the fact that it is safe to overtake, we'll then move out without accelerating in a position whereby we can establish a straight line during the overtake. This is most important with a powerful machine if we're going to use the full performance. So having established a safe position here, we will then accelerate briskly through, coming in all the way and in no way ever being on a collision course with anything that should be coming in the opposite direction. The novice rider, unfortunately, invariably comes up hiding himself behind the vehicle to be overtaken at fast speed. He then assumes it's clear, swerves out, attempting to accelerate at the same time. He can't use the performance of his machine, and he invariably finds that he takes twice as long as we do, and he's suddenly confronted with a vehicle he hasn't seen, and the vehicle hasn't seen him, so possibly an accident could occur. Here I'm trying to demonstrate the skills required to negotiate obstacles safely and smoothly. The skills involve coordination of the hands and feet and absolute balance. The students now are doing very well at this, in fact. They're picking their way through, balancing the machine, using the back brake to hold it in check at slow speed with a slipping clutch and a fixed throttle position. This results in a smooth approach. Problem you're liable to encounter is that of objects lying on the road surface, like pieces of paper, cardboard, and squashed flat beer cans. The thing is that the tyre grips on the beer can better than the beer can grips the road. Therefore, in order to get rid of it, you must release the brake. I'll try and demonstrate this. Now we move on to some typical road situations which could easily result in accidents. The driver of the car is looking the wrong way and is attracted by our horn warning, so stopping and pulling out in front of us. The driver of the yellow car pulled up with his left-hand indicator on, and when he pulls away, thinks he's signalled right, but he's in fact cancelled it. We hang back because his speed is down and it is obvious that he's about to turn right. We don't fall into the trap or running into his driver's door. Now you see me hanging back so as not to obscure the driver in front's view. I'll then pull out slightly behind him to his rear and safely negotiate the junction without inconveniencing him or anybody else.
Congratulations, gentlemen. You have all successfully completed this course. You will all be on the road at least 8 hours a day in all weather conditions, all the year round. And in order to survive in present-day road and traffic conditions, I would give you this advice. You must have complete concentration and all-round awareness. Don't relax for an instant. You must continually analyse and anticipate other road users' intentions and maintain a constant appreciation of road surface conditions. We wish you good luck, but remember, you make your own luck.